Hey guys, it's Sally B here. First things first, I'm sorry that it's kind of like stupid, like my camera's stupid, my angle's stupid, whatever. Uh, I can't find my tripod thingy, so wonderful, am I right? Like I'm an unorganized piece of garbage. I want to kill myself. No, I'm just kidding. That being said, I have a bow in my hair. It's like a Harley Quinn bow, so that's fucking great. Also, today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my bad habits and like my pet peeves and all that because I've seen a couple other YouTubers that I really love doing it, like Tana Mojo and stuff, and it's fucking lit. Like, they're always great. My hair's pissing me off. Sorry. I wrote them down, so because I'm unorganized and I need a list. I'm also dying. So, and also sorry that I haven't been posting lately. I know it's been like a couple of months, I believe. It's just a bunch has been happening. Like, I've been sick for the last like 2 months. Like, first I had the 24-hour bug, and then I got regular sick, and then, I don't know what happened, but like, I got like, my throat got so swollen that I couldn't like swallow and stuff. So that happened. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Sorry, I didn't like how my camera was angled, so I had to change positions real quick. This is my room, by the way. That's how I get in and out of my room, like, obviously. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my bad habits. My first bad habit, which I do literally all the time, is I overthink so much. Like, I'll send somebody a text message at like 3:43, and then at like 3:43 they don't text back, and I'm like, are they ignoring me? Like, what did I do wrong? What is life? Like, what is happening? Like, you know? My next bad habit is chewing my nails. I do this so often. It's part of my BPD, because with BPD you can show signs of other mental illnesses, and right now I'm showing extreme signs of like OCD and stuff, and so I get like hard, like hangnails, I guess, on the sides of my nails, and they piss me off like to the hella. So I chew them to the point where, like, can you see that? Like, right here, it's like so bad. Like, I think it's on both. Yeah, like my nails bleed and they scar over. Like, basically the entire area around my nail is just scar tissue now, which you know, isn't good. It's not good at all. My next pet peeve is mouth breathing, which I'm guilty of doing this. I do this my next bad habit is mouth breathing. I do this all the time. Like, all the time. But it's mainly because I have one of the things that's been happening this past month or so is I have a really bad sinus infection, which I actually had to get antibiotics for, which are like fucking horse pills, and I can barely take my regular like fucking Adderall, which is like this big, and the horse pill is like this big, and like, so I can't really breathe out of my nose, and it's like super contagious what I have. It's really bad, but I mouth breathe constantly, and which sucks because I hate when people mouth breathe, but I'm a piece of garbage, so oops. My next pet peeve my next bad habit is I obsessively talk about the ferrets. Like, any conversation. Like, just a couple of nights ago, my aunt, because her and my uncle are living with us right now, my aunt had a friend come over, and my first thing that came out of my mouth was, you want to see my ferrets? Like, because, like, I don't know what else to say in like awkward conversations, so I'm just like, you know what, let's bring out a party trick, and that's my ferrets. So oops. My next bad habit is that I'm like super needy. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, you could be obsessed with me and I'd still be like, why don't you love me enough? Like, I'm so needy, and it's really bad. I will sit there and like constantly like overthink and be like, oh, they're cheating on me because they haven't texted me in like 2 minutes. Like, it's horrible. It's really bad. Like, I fucking hate myself. I'm a literal piece of garbage. Okay, but like, on to my pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves is when somebody like interrupts me or people talk over each other. That's part of my like anxiety, is that when people like talk over each other and they're talking at the same time, it spikes my anxiety, and like I get super pissed off when people interrupt me. Like, I'll be in the middle of a sentence and then they'll start their sentence and I'll be like, I wasn't fucking finished. Like, give me a second. Like, the fuck are you doing? Another one is loud chewing. Like, I don't necessarily mind loud chewing, but like, if you're chewing gum and you're like, I'm just like, I will rip that fucking gum out of your mouth. Stop. I'm gonna punch you. Like, it's so bad. I'm literally just like, shut up. Like, shut up. Don't talk to me. Like, stop chewing, stop breathing, stop eating. Like, stop. Like, fucking stop it. Like, don't ever eat again. Like, ever. Like, that sounds so bad and I sound like such a bitch, but like, I can't help the way I feel, so it's kind of like, My next pet peeve is something that I've been dealing with for a very long time. I think since I was like 12, and it plays back into the BPD and the OCD and everything. I hate odd numbers. If we're in the car and you turn up your music or turn up the radio, whatever, and it's at like 17, I'll either turn it up or turn it down. I do not care if it's too loud or too quiet. It has to be on like 18 or 16. And like, the weird part about this is that numbers that are like multiples of 5, like 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, I don't care if they end in a 5, but like, other than that, it's like, get the fuck out of here with your odd number ass piece of shit bitch. Like, fuck you. My next pet peeve is like messy cars. Like, I don't know why, because like my room is like, it's not that bad. It's just like, that's my mess corner. But messy cars irritate the fuck out of me. Like, if you have a messy car and I go and sit in it, I'm like, you knew I was gonna be in here. You couldn't have just thrown away your like 12 McDonald's cups. Like, now I have nowhere to put my drink. Like, it's inconsiderate. It makes me feel like you're not considerate, and it just pisses me the fuck off. My next pet peeve is kind of not really a pet peeve. It's just like an every kind of person, unless you're a piece of shit thing. I fucking hate animal abuse. Like, if I see somebody even like yelling at their animal like excessively, I'm like, why the fuck? Like, what did they fucking do to you? Like, did they fucking eat your firstborn child? Like, did you sacrifice your firstborn child to that pet and that's why you're so pissed off at them? Like, that's not okay. Like, oh, your dog peed on the carpet. You're gonna fucking, beat them with a stick. Like, it's a puppy. Like, my sister used to live with these people who I'm not gonna name, and they used to shoot their dog with a BB pellet, like a BB gun, because it would constantly bark. And that's just a training issue. Like, you don't need to fucking abuse your dog because of that. Following that, my one of my other pet peeves is when people mishandle the ferrets. Like my ferrets. If I hand you the ferret a certain way, like, you don't just hold it like with one hand outstretched like it's gonna fucking bite your face. Like, you have to cradle that shit like it's a fucking baby. I don't give a shit if they're squirming and they're trying to like kill you. Like, my ferrets never would do that, but they're also, ferrets aren't used to like heights and stuff, so you have to like cradle them to make them feel safe, or else they kind of freak out. And so if I hand you my ferret a certain way, that's how you're supposed to hold them. You're not supposed to like fucking, I don't know. I just hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Like, if you mishandle my ferret, I'm literally like, don't talk to me. I actually had a best friend, or not a best friend, just a friend, and he was saying how ugly the ferrets were, and now I don't talk to him anymore. Because he was like, not only was he ragging on my animals, but he was like just being mean to them. And I was like, you know what? No. Like, I do a lot to my ferrets. Like, I flip them around, I fold them in half, I toss them around on the bed. But he was taking it to like an extreme, because ferrets are very, durable, but at the same time they're not. My next pet peeve is pushy people. Like, if I say no, don't keep going on about it. Like, if I tell you, no, I don't want to talk about this, don't keep trying to push the subject. Like, that's not okay. That's not right. Like, fuck yourself. Like, that's just a common courtesy thing. Like, another thing is, like, when people, how do I explain this? When people, like, hold on. How do I explain that? Alright, so, like, when people don't, like, listen to you, basically. Like, when you call, like, shotgun, and they're like, no, I'm already here. Like, it's like, bitch, I called shotgun. Like, you had the front seat on the way here, now I get it on the way back. I already called shotgun. Like, that kind of stuff irritates the fuck out of me. Like, when they don't, like, listen. Like, they just kind of ignore you and do whatever the fuck they want. Like, oh. And then my last pet peeve, like, this makes me sound like such a bitch, because I have so many, like, don't do this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not a bitch. Like, I am, but, like, I'm not. Like, I'm not just gonna go around, like, judging people. But my last pet peeve is when somebody asks me for, like, relationship advice, and I give them, like, bomb-ass relationship advice. Like, no, honey, he's a dick, he cheated on you, you gotta dump him. And then they don't follow that advice. Like, they legit go back to that person or something like that. Like, it's like, are you serious? Like, I've just given you some great advice, and you're basically giving me the middle finger. Like, they ask for your advice too, and then they don't take it. It's like, does my advice not make sense to you? Like, is that a problem? The fuck? Alright, so now that I've made myself sound like a complete cunt, I'm gonna go. Thanks for listening. If you liked it, leave a like. I don't really care if you do or don't. Like, it's like, whatever. Subscribe if you want. Oh well. See you later, guys. Bye.